Hello, good day, and welcome to Sports Clinic on Niger Live TV. My name is AB Appah, and of course, we have a lot to talk about, ranging from the Prosperity Cup that is happening in Bayelsa State, the biggest grassroots football tournament in Africa. It's not just about Nigeria only; they've gone global, and also talk about do a little bit of preview on some matches that would be played in the NPFL and also the English Premier League and Spanish La Liga. We'll talk about all that. But let's start from the home front, where Mini FC of Minebe at the Sangana Center beat Top Dynamite FC 4-2 on penalties after a 1-all draw in regulation time to become the first team to qualify for the round of 32 in season 8 of the competition. Good one for Mini FC, but before now, they pipped a resilient Krukele Thunders FC by a lone goal, courtesy of Wisdom Elliott's 31st minute strike. This is a team that I believe they've been doing very well. They've been doing very well. I used to see them on the news, and I'm looking forward to the round of 32. Let me see them, look them closer, and see what they can offer. But let me take you guys to the Opunembe Center, where there's another team that has qualified for the round of 32. That is talking about Mangrove FC. Before I talk about Mangrove FC, I want to talk about the coordinators, the organizers of the Opunembe Center, the FA themselves. They did very well, I would say. You talk about the pitch, Opunembe pitch, and it's one of the best, well maintained, and the coordinators too. I covered those matches, so I can tell. I think I went a bit late. Was it around 10? Match was supposed to be scheduled for 12. I think we left Yenegua around 10 or so, got there around to 11, and I was expecting maybe we'll be the first people there, the referees and myself, but good thing they were already there. Everything was already in place. So I'd like to say a big shout out to the coordinator, Mr. Sele. You're doing a very good job, and also congratulations to Mangrove FC because they defeated Fantua FC by 3-0. 2 penalties and a free kick. It was a game of set pieces, and the other game at the Nembe City Center between MC and their opponent. I was talking about Genesis FC. It ended 3-1 in favor of MC Football Club. Quite thrilling one, quite intense because for Genesis, they got the opener, and I was thinking, and the MC, that's more like that Nimba City Center is where they do play their matches. So it felt like their home ground. So like, okay, let's see what will happen. And the quick equalizer, and before you know, 2-1, and the last kick of the game, it made it 3-1. So good one to all the teams that have qualified, and for those that have been knocked out, please just do well and prepare better, and support any team that you can that has qualified already. There's no bad blood, just put on the spirit of sportsmanship. But quickly, let's move to the NPFL and talk about some matches that would be played in the NPFL this weekend. And let's start with the one that concerns Bayelsans most. That is the one between Bayelsa United and Warri Wolves. For Bayelsa United, they're not doing very well this season. I would say that they're not doing very well, still in the relegation waters. We expect more from this team. We expect them to at least be fighting for the trophy, or at best be very comfortable in the top half of the table. But it hasn't come to pass. But they'll be taking on Warri Wolves, and Warri Wolves not doing excellently well too. They're just coming back from relegation, but they've been doing okay, and it will be a difficult one. But any prediction from me? If you ask me, I'd say I'm giving it to Bayelsa United, but also remember that I'll not be the one to play the match. I'd say Bayelsa United would nick that one. So if you're in Bayelsa or wherever you are, if you're in Yenegua, please just come out and come out and see a good match and share Bayelsa United up. I'm a Bayelsa United fan. Let me be sentimental on that one. And we'll also see Bendel Insurance taking on Kun Khalifat FC. We'll see Niger Tornadoes versus Kano Pillars. We'll see Kwara United tackle Enugu Rangers. And the one that I want to see is the one between Ikorodu City versus Rivers United. Tabletoppers Rivers United. And for Ikorodu City, they are still in the mix when you talk about if they can win the trophy. Very much possible, but let's see how that pans out. Then Remo Stars versus Nasarawa United. Defending champions Remo Stars doing very badly, kissing the basement of the table. Not good enough from Remo Stars. I don't know what happened. I know there are some excuses from some quarters that it's because they sold Maybe some of their best players. That is why. But you're a selling club, and you should be prepared for those kind of situations where you know that okay, come the end of the season, I'll sell most of my good players. But you have to be prepared and make sure that you bring in players that are good enough to keep you afloat, even if not win the league, at least fight for a continental position. But for Remo Stars, they've not been able to do that. But enough about the African scene. Let's move to England and talk about the English Premier League. Yeah, I know a bad day for English teams in Europe. Talking about the Champions League, the Europa League, the Conference League. Just one English team win, very bad. But this time around, I'll spare them all that and just concentrate on the English Premier League. Let me take the fixtures, and after taking them, I'll talk about some of the big fixtures. And the first one I'd like to take is the one between Burnley versus Bournemouth. And we'll also see Manchester United take on Aston Villa. We'll see Arsenal versus Everton. Chelsea will take on Newcastle United. And we'll see Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur. But let me start with Manchester United taking on Aston Villa. A very big one for Aston Villa. At the Villa Park, they're able to defeat Manchester United by 2-1. But lately, they've been blowing cold. So let's see what they can offer. And Manchester United just having their first defeat in a very long time for Michael Carrick, losing to Newcastle United by 2-1. 10-man Newcastle United, very embarrassing. And I believe they might want to come back to winning ways in this one. But I can assure you that it will be a very interesting watch. And let's move forward and talk about Arsenal versus Everton. For Arsenal, every day it looks more like they will be crowned champions. Yeah, I believe they would come the end of the season, they will be crowned champions, but it's not yet done. Everton are very good away. You look at their away record, and they're one of the best teams away so far in 2026. So I believe Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, they will look at that and not play with it. But the problem is, come midweek, they will be playing Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League second leg at the Emirates. So will they rest some of their key players and just go with some fringe players, or go with a full squad and risk injuries and fatigue for the return leg on Wednesday? But we'll find out all that. And let's move to Chelsea, where Chelsea will be taking on Newcastle United. Chelsea, very dismal performance from them. The scoreline, rather. Performance was not really bad. The performance was not really bad for 85 minutes or so. They were playing very well against Paris Saint-Germain in Parc des Princes. But after 85 minutes, you look at the scoreline at 90 minutes and 5-2. That's very bad, very bad. But against Newcastle United, they might want to come back to winning ways and tell their fans that, okay, that was a one-off. But it also brings the question for them to, would they want to start a full squad? Would they want to risk injuries against a Newcastle United side that has not been doing very well? To Newcastle United, who will be taking on FC Barcelona in the second leg at Camp Nou. They didn't get a favorable result at St. James's Park. So them too, the questions will be asked if Eddie Howe would want to start his first team, or he might just want to relax a bit. But finally, let's talk about Liverpool versus Spurs. Liverpool, they've always found a way of defeating Spurs, no matter how it is, be it 10 men or so, they always have a way of defeating Spurs. So I expect Liverpool to get the job done against Spurs. This Tottenham Hotspur side is one of the worst Spurs side that I've seen, and they look destined for relegation. But for Liverpool, still something to play for. The trophy not to play for in the English Premier League, but they still have the top four to play for. And guys, let's move to the Spanish La Liga. We'll talk about, start with FC Barcelona. They will be taking on Sevilla. And before this fixture, very interesting fixture, very exciting one. And you'd want to say it will be a big fixture, but the Sevilla today, you can say that they are paperweights. Yeah, not heavyweights anymore. This Sevilla paperweights, and I expect FC Barcelona to get the job done against Sevilla, because they are gunning for the La Liga title, 4 points ahead of Real Madrid. And finally, talking about Real Madrid, let's talk about them. They will be taking on Elche. A good win for them against Manchester City at the Santiago Bernabeu, defeating Manchester City by 3-0. I didn't see that coming. I thought it was very close. I thought maybe Manchester City might be able to score a goal or so, but wow, what a performance from Real Madrid. They showed that this is a team that you can't just write them off when you talk about the Champions League. You talk about La Liga, you can write them off, but the Champions League, you can't write Real Madrid off. They'll be taking on Elche at the Santiago Bernabeu, more like a prep for their second leg. They'll be going to the Etihad to face Manchester City. But this is what we have for you for now. But we'll come back and give you more updates on this. Thank you very much for staying with me. My name is Appah. Enjoy the rest of your day.